everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Miranda, and today we're going to talk about all the emotions that go with being diagnosed with cancer, then going through the battle of chemo, and then afterwards when you hit remission. So this is going to be from the perspective of what I felt, how I kind of dealt with some things. Again, this is going to be from my perspective. I hope this helps you, and just know that you're not alone in the feelings that you have, and if you feel like you need to reach out to someone, I am always here for you. Okay, so let's jump into this. Start with the day that I got diagnosed. You know, there's already have been multiple doctor's visits, and leading up to the moment that I had walked into my doctor's office. And I was alone that day. I had told my husband to go ahead and go to work, and that it was no biggie, and it was just a doctor's appointment, you know. And sat down, and he said, now I know your family has some history with some female types of issues, and that you have the early stages of endometrial cancer and all that. So he told me, you know, we caught it early, and that's good. There's lots that we can do from here. And my brain instantly had started shutting off. I went into a spiral, completely like toned him out. I was still there, but in the perspective of it, I wasn't there. I felt like I had jumped out of my body and was just in a whole different place. I was sitting there thinking, I have two girls. There's no way. Like, my youngest is not even one yet. And I had started just going down from there. And that emotion of the spiraling had continued on probably for that whole week after being diagnosed, especially having to tell everybody what was going on. It was hard, but I think that what helped the most was honestly my husband, being able to just vent to him my emotions that I was having. You know, I had this feeling like I had somehow doomed my children to possibly get this cancer in their future, because it's a female type of cancer, and I have two girls, and I I just had that feeling of like, oh my gosh, what have I done? Just that feeling of like it's my fault when it wasn't. And that feeling had stuck with me probably for the first week, and then it kind of subsided, and then it became, okay, this is how I'm gonna fight, and this was the plan, and you know, this is what we're gonna do. And here and there we had a little bit of a hiccup in the beginning, but once we figured out we were doing chemo and how we were gonna do it, it was just straightforward from there. I know a lot of people have a lot of emotion when it comes to if their hair starts falling out. I really didn't, simply because I was okay with it. For some reason, was just like, okay, you know, that's what happens. It happens. I'll get over it. I was anxious though. You know, I'm not gonna say I didn't have any kind of feelings towards it. I was anxious because I was like, what if my husband doesn't love me after my hair is gone? You know, I'm a woman, and we hold on to our hair it's everything. And losing it was hard, but it was more of the feeling of, what if he doesn't view me the same way? So, got through the emotions. He's the one who actually helped shave my head when it came time, and we handled that very well. So, you know, you're going through treatment, and the feelings of, I don't want to be a burden on my family. I didn't want to ask for help because, again, I didn't want to bother anybody. And so I was very much like, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna just keep powering through. And people post it on my Facebook all the time. They're like, oh my gosh, you're so strong. Like, I don't know how you're doing it. And in my head, it was just like, it was my mental battle for myself because I had to do it. And I was going to be mad if I didn't do it. So I had then started kind of going downhill from there. I started dealing with losing some friends on the cancer floor that I didn't realize was gonna be so hard on me because, you know, here I am, I just met them. But the people on that floor you have a connection with that is so deep because they know, they just know what you're going through. And they know that battle that nobody else is going to understand on that level. So, I had lost some friends, I had lost some family through cancer, and I started feeling survivor's guilt. And I'll talk about that a little bit more later on, but those emotions started creeping in, and I started feeling like I shouldn't be here. That with all the medical bills that were piling up and that are still here today, that my family would be better off if I wasn't around anymore. And it was scary. It was such a scary time. And those emotions had a hard time coming through because I didn't know how to express it and explain it to my husband at all. So we had found a system of writing in a journal, and I would write down everything I was feeling, and then I would hand it to him. And just that writing it down helped a ton because I felt like it was all out how I wanted it out. Nobody was interrupting me. No other things were being added as I was trying to write. So they get wrote out, and then I hand it to him, and then that's it. He reads it. Sometimes we discuss it, but other than that, it's fine. You know, I handle that emotion at that time. So that was my coping mechanism through it all, and we got through that. Come to the end of my journey of the first battle, and I got to celebrate. You know, I'm cancer free. I got the phone call while we were on vacation. Like, what better time to just be celebrating? I was surrounded by these amazing women in my company. Everybody was cheering, you know, so much excitement, so much love. Everything was happening. I felt I can move on. Everything's going great. And, you know, I was so happy. You know, we started planning for our future. We bought a house. We moved into the house. Started making things our own here. Our kids were happy. We were happy. And then not even a month after we bought our house, I went in for my checkup and then was told I had a reoccurrence with my cancer and that it had spread a little bit more than what it was, and I was going to go through the journey again. And that is where I struggled the most, I will say, throughout this whole process, was that feeling of I just got hit with a brick wall. And I hit that brick wall hard. I felt like I had this weighted vest on me and it wasn't gonna let me go. I felt like I was suffocating. And that everything that I had done the months before were for nothing. The pain and the stress and all the struggle of those months were gone for nothing, and because here it is again. And I had to go again. So I go through, start again, and I struggle. I was in a dark place. I quit wanting to really see my family. I quit wanting to see my friends. I didn't want to go out. I wanted to be alone. And it became scary. Because I felt like there was just nothing that I could do to get out. So, you know, those emotions really came forth more when my hair had started falling out again, and as my husband's shaving my head again, I just felt like everything was just going downhill, and I was just losing myself. And I shut down majorly throughout the second part of my journey. So I go through chemo, I go through the emotions. I started having issues with neuropathy. And if you don't know what neuropathy is, it is like tingling feeling in your limbs. Sometimes you lose feeling. Mine was getting bad enough that my legs would kind of go numb and it would cause me to fall. And so I ended up having to start using a wheelchair. And that was a battle that I didn't understand. Because I've always been very capable. I love hiking. I love running. In high school, I was cross country, track, all the sports, marching band. I was always up and moving and capable. And I used to love walking my dog. And here I am, and I'm using a wheelchair just to get around my house. And I felt like my life was starting to get taken away from me. What was my normal? I started becoming distant from my husband, from my kids. I started not knowing who I was, and that started scaring me because it was trying to figure out who you are is like the biggest question in life already. But then when you think about it and you're thinking, I am nothing. Besides, right now I feel like all I am is cancer. And that feeling, it just hurts. It hurts so much. And people don't understand it unless they've gone through it. So it's hard to explain to anybody why some days you just have bad days. So I keep going, and I completely had shut down at that point. I wasn't doing anything in my business anymore. I wasn't really interacting with my team, and it was a low point. And I'm in remission again, and that's where I'm at right now. But the feelings after being told that you are cancer free is something that nobody prepares you for. It's the feelings of, why me? Because you have friends that are still on that cancer floor, and some of them haven't got to come home, and some of them are never going to make it home, and you lose somebody, and that survivor's guilt sets in, because why am I the lucky one? And I've struggled with that because when you when you go and battle alongside these people and they become so much part of your life, you know, you see them every week, sometimes twice a week, they become family. These total strangers become family to you. And it doesn't seem fair. You get through that and you get told that somebody was just diagnosed and or is now going through it, their battle, and all you want to do is just hug them. That's what I want to do. I want to hug them and I want to take it away because I don't want anybody to go through this, anything like this. Struggled with trying to figure out who I am now because I'm not the same person that I was before this journey, and but I still am, if that makes sense. I feel like I should be doing more with my life, and that's kind of why I started making these videos, because I'm hoping that somehow this helps with somebody. Because when I was going through my journey, I wish that somebody was doing the exact same thing that I'm doing right now, because I needed to see those videos. I needed to know that I wasn't alone. And I was blessed. I had a great friend on my team. I got to meet her for the first time, and I literally just started bawling the first time I met her in person because she saved me and she didn't even know it. Because the emotions and the thoughts that go through your head sometimes while you're battling is dark. Especially when you feel like you can't do the things that you were, you know, supposed to do. Like, I felt like I wasn't being a mom or a wife. I felt like I wasn't being there. And I really hope that I somehow am there for somebody who might need it in the future. So these are just some of the emotions that I've dealt with through this journey. It's been a process for it all, and it's still going to be. I'm still growing. I still have the issue of, like, right now, though I'm in remission, I don't want to look like the cancer patient that I label myself as. So I hate wearing like my cap or wearing a wig, and so I have a hard time sometimes when my friends ask me if I want to go out somewhere, and I'm just like, I don't want to look like that cancer patient, but I also don't like want to have to put so much effort into making me look normal. If that makes sense. So I've struggled with that a little bit, and I really hope that this video helps in some way. And if it did, let me know. If you need somebody to talk to, always feel free to message me. My Facebook, Instagram are all on here, and I'm always available to talk. No matter what, I will be here for you, because you shouldn't have to fight alone at all. So, yeah. I want to sign off of here, but if you like to subscribe and like this video, and I will talk to you guys later, and next video I promise will be a little bit more peppy. Bye guys.